Hello, tanks and tankettes, which I believe would be the appropriate greeting in this case because this is War Thunder Ground Forces. Now, War Thunder, Gaijin more specifically, got a bit of a mention during all the recent events with World of Tanks, and possibly it was a bit unfairly. Possibly their reputation as far as YouTube and stifling critical comment goes is not particularly deserved. Maybe all these things in the past were just a series of unfortunate mistakes, but I think there is still a fair amount of very valid criticism you could make about Gaijin and the balancing in their games and how grindy they make their games and their monetization policies. That's a whole, you could probably do a whole thing on that, or you could if you knew more about it. It's just, to me, as a relative outsider, it does seem like Gaijin are a bit more grasping than I've forgotten the name. Wargaming. Wow, that's okay. No, I did not fall down and hit my head this morning. I hasten to add. So, yeah, I mean, Wargaming stuff's never been cheap, but Gaijin premium vehicles are never especially cheap either. And the other MMO that Gaijin publishes, it's not actually made by them, but they publish it, which is called, is it Star Control? Something like that. It's some kind of space fly around shooty game, which I am only vaguely aware of. But from what I've read of that, since that launched in 2013, it's just progressively gone downhill, become more and more pay to win. The grind has increased exponentially, and basically a lot of people that started off liking the game just left in disgust because it just got more and more unbalanced and so on and so forth. Of course, this is all me just, reading people's reviews and comments about it. I've never actually played it myself. Some of that may be not entirely true, not entirely fair, I don't know. But when you get that kind of opinion coming out as a consensus from people doing very well typed out, thoughtful, explanations of why exactly they think the game's gone that way, well, it's not a great sign. Now, I don't think War Thunder's in that kettle of fish, but undoubtedly in the time I've played it, it has, the economy has significantly changed over the years. There have been, I wouldn't say pay-to-win elements. I mean, sometimes they put out premiums, just as World of Tanks does sometimes, where they're not balanced. I think maybe they're a little better at balancing them down the line than Wargaming is. Why am I struggling to remember Wargaming's name? I don't know. It's not like I'm recording this at 3 a.m. or anything. And so basically, the fact that I've been interested enough to come back and try War Thunder again, it's not me necessarily saying, oh, well, I'm fine with everything Gaijin does, etc., etc. No, I think there are still plenty of valid criticisms to make of Gaijin and War Thunder in particular. But nonetheless, here we are. I figured I would at least give it another go. And one of the things that has been interesting in the most recent patches, not only has there been a separate Italian tech tree introduced, of which I have basically nothing, because previously they were on the German tech tree and I didn't really play any of the Italian planes. I haven't really done planes that much anyway, but what's more of interest to me is the fact they've introduced a new PvE mode, or rather a pair of new PvE modes, one for ground forces and one for air forces. Now, this is maybe more of interest to me because in the next patch, we're going to get a series of PvE events with World of Warships. And it's actually 4 separate scenarios, I guess we could call them. One of which is very similar to the Halloween scenario we had last year. I guess you could call that the live kind of test bed for it. But what they're doing is on the back of the PvE mode being quite popular generally, more so than Wargaming was expecting, they've decided to give us a series of objective-based modes. Now, that isn't really what War Thunder has. War Thunder has a fairly simple, for now, wave defense mode, essentially. And it's the same with the air battle. You've got an objective to protect. So in this case, the objective we're protecting is a group of, I think they're Su-76s, and we just have to stop them all getting blown up, and we just get progressive waves of, I think it's just Panzer IIIs and Churchills. There doesn't seem to be much variation in the attacking vehicles. Not entirely sure why. And the difficulty increase really only comes from the fact that you get increasing numbers of them that you have to deal with. It's not like the vehicles get tougher, it's just that there are more of them. And even at the kind of at their maximum extent, they only seem to come from about 3 or 4 different directions at once. I say only, you know, I've only successfully completed it once, and the other times I've tried it have all been failures. But yeah, you know, as a kind of, like, I guess as an experiment, it's fine if they're just trying to gauge the popularity, see how it works with their bots. I can see that. It's just War Thunder have had, you know, functional AI controlled tanks for quite a long time now, which they, you know, they've come on quite a long way. When they were first introduced, they were fairly damn terrible. But is this pure HE? I think this is pure HE. They now work in theory a lot better, so it's almost a little disappointing that this is the initial offering, but it might just be that this is just as a test to see how it's received and how it works. I thought I'd start off with the Derp Sherman, because why not? It's my highest BR American vehicle. I can't remember how I, like, this is like 3.7 and all the rest are like 3.3 or below. I can't remember how I got this one unlocked before the others, but it might be it was one of those ones that had a BR change that bumped it further up because it was doing a bit too well at the BR it was at. So let's see if I can actually remember how to derp, because it's been a while. Nope, that was actually a hit. Okay, I think this is heat, not sure. So yeah, it does just seem to be Panzer IIIs and Churchills, and the Churchills are the tougher ones, but the Panzer IIIs seem to have the worse, or the more deadly ammo, if that makes any sense. Oh, and you also get air attacks as well. So, like, I think it's like arcade, because this is the arcade rule set. You have the call-ins, as it were. You can jump into a fighter to deal with the AI bombers that are coming overhead, or you can jump into a bomber to try and tackle some of the tanks. So there's a bit of variety going on, but it's a bit basic. You know, there's no getting away from that. It is a little bit basic. I think once you've beaten it even a couple of times, there probably wouldn't be a huge incentive to go back. Although it does, if you successfully complete it, give you a 300% booster, which you can get once per day. So I don't know if they're aiming as this as a thing, like a supplementary game mode rather than a whole new branch of the game. Because you know, bots have been in the regular ground forces for a while. I just remember when they first came out and they were doing things like shunting players out the way and pushing them into the line of the enemy and driving over seemingly impassable rocks. It's I don't know. It's maybe just a thing that is a way to get some players back in the game, get people interested that previously maybe had left and want to try something new. I don't know. Also, I'm getting shot from behind, so I should probably worry about that at some point. Yeah. Okay, I think it's like I've only done this. This is maybe my 6th time doing this, and I think we've won only once. So it seems like using the buildings for cover is actually quite a useful thing. Also, I'm not actually sure how useful the Derp Sherman is. The rest of my lineup is it's a pair of Shermans, and I've got basically the Lee and the Grant as well. So it's not the strongest lineup. I'm not even sure if there's like if it specifically helps to choose one nation over another, but anyway, there we go, that's cool. Because I've done this, I've finished it successfully with the Russians, and maybe that was just, you know, I suspect that was more just that I was in a good group. At least one person knew what they were doing. Oh, and I just got kablatted. So that obviously helps if you've had somebody that's managed to do it before. So there we go, just insta-killed, as happens in War Thunder a lot. But because this is arcade rules, I get to choose another tank. Now that is on a cooldown. There's a decent chance that this will go on long enough that I could then select that again at some point. But what we'll do is I'll take my next best tank, which is the M4. With, I think this will be... Will this be a 75mm or a 76mm gun? I'm not even sure. I honestly don't know. So, I mean, War Thunder looks as good as ever. I might as well mention that while we're here. The graphics and the FPS as well. I mean, this was always one of the things that War Thunder did do better than tanks. And tanks has vastly improved in that area. The optimization of the client, the stability of your FPS is a hell of a lot better in World of Tanks than it used to be. But War Thunder, because it was using Gaijin's own engine basically, even on a weaker computer, it still looked pretty nice. Of course, there was then the whole controversy over the graphics settings and people playing on ultra low and then thereby getting a competitive advantage, which is not really, you know, that's not really what you want. But yes, I think they did something about that, and I think now even with the ultra low graphics, you still have foliage that actually obscures stuff. And it was either that or they changed the rules for when tanks are actually rendered on screens, because the issue was that tanks were being rendered on screens but bushes weren't. So it might be that they've made it so that your tanks are not on screen if they're not supposed to be spotted, which is kind of how World of Tanks does it essentially. Which would get around that issue. Anyway, this gun seems a little more reliable than the Derp. I was hoping to, like, this is actually my second attempt at recording this. I had to have a little fiddle with OBS because I'm having to use OBS to record this, which, thanks to a Warships YouTuber, Arun, I actually figured out how to do. Well, I say figured out, he basically told me how to set it up. So I can do good quality local OBS recordings. But yeah, for some reason Bandicam just would not. But even so, I had to have a little fiddle before OBS would behave. So yeah, I was hoping to capture to open up with the thing where, because basically, you know, the first time I boot it up once a day, it will go, oh, it looks like your premium account has expired, and that dates back to me buying one of the very few premiums I have in this game, and it coming with like a month of premium time. It's the only time I've ever had premium time in War Thunder. And then ever since then, and this is literally going on for years now, once a day you log in and there's the message of, oh, it looks like your premium time has expired. So yeah, that's just... I don't know, I was going to have a little riff on that, but it's a relatively minor thing, but it's emblematic somehow of Gaijin kind of being slightly grasping, also it feels like. I mean, I know this is, at the end of the day, a free-to-play game and they'll have to make the money somehow, but a lot of the economy changes and the changes they've made to making this game a lot more grindy than it once was. My understanding is they haven't been generally well received by the community. War Thunder, it's one of those games, like even maybe more so than World of Tanks, where the community simultaneously loves the game but like really gets pissed off at the developer. And obviously we can to some extent say the same thing about World of Tanks and Wargaming, because with any kind of MMO game, I remember going on the forums of what's that browser-based one for Battlestar Galactica? I can't remember now, but that's another free-to-play one. And I tried that for a brief while, and it was kind of fun flying around in Raptors and things like that. And considering it was all done through a browser plugin, essentially, it was actually surprisingly good. But going on the forums there, like, my word, the complaining, and I don't know how valid any of it was or was not, in terms of people saying, oh, this is pay to win, or this is too grindy, or this is a negative change. But I guess it just feels like it's the same for any community online. around an online free-to-play game is that nobody's ever quite happy. Nobody's ever really quite happy. So there's definitely some of that in World of Tanks, and definitely a lot of that in War Thunder as well. And it's always interesting as a relative outsider trying to pick out what's people just complaining for the sake of complaining, and then what is people having genuine grievances. And obviously for World of Tanks, being far more involved with that community and with that game, I actually have a fair idea of how valid those complaints are, for want of a better word. But for stuff like War Thunder, it's more having to go with other people's opinions and figuring out who's just complaining versus who actually has well thought out salient complaints. And generally you can figure it out by context and just seeing how much thought has gone into something as versus somebody just swearing about something. Which is, you could maybe say that about the video Fosh made, but then he did follow up with an actual list of well laid out, stuff that he feels is wrong. So, yeah. With Foshgate we had actually both sides of that, with everything I've been saying. Anyway, this is, having said it was only Panzer IIIs, I think you get different models of Panzer IIIs. Can we have the derp? We can have the derp back. Let's try the Grant. Why not? Because 2 guns is better than 1 gun, right? I remember when this came out, and I think the Lee as well. Generally, it was actually kind of overpowered, which was always amusing to me because, of course, World of Tanks, it does not have that reputation at all. But because you had 2 guns, and because you've got, I think, is it 6 crew members? This was actually a really survivable tank because the crew would eat a lot of shells, and with the firepower you actually have available, yeah, it was actually pretty strong. And I think this is one of the ones they did go and tone it down a bit, make it a bit more balanced. So we've only got 2 left. It's not looking great. I think by this stage of the other one we still had like 5 left. I just guessed at least one of those people had played it through successfully before, maybe more, and not letting the AIs get close, like killing them efficiently, does seem to be the way to do it. But then there's that balance between, well, you can get closer to the bot spawn points, which doesn't really give you a lot of cover. This map, there's not a huge amount of... It's not like there's lots of trees or bits of terrain or fortifications you can use. So you're basically sitting out in the open. And once you do die, you just spawn back in this area here. So... oh, I just lost somebody. That's one thing I don't like, is that kind of tinnitus noise that, like, when I've been hit, I want to hear a clang or, obviously when you explode it's rather more noticeable, but to have some better idea instead of that really annoying tinnitus noise, and it's like, oh look, half my crew's died and all I heard was this high-pitched whine. It doesn't quite, I don't know, that could be better. That's a minor game design thing, but still. I don't think we're going to do this one, by the way. We're down to, with only being down to 2, I suspect we're not going to survive through to the final waves. No, I've actually killed anything. I'm not sure. I've had plenty of assists. I'm not sure if I've actually killed anything yet. I'm still getting kind of used to aiming with the arcade again, because of course, even with the arcade aiming, it's the game aims a bit differently than World of Tanks does. So, although it does tell you the elevation that you need, it sometimes takes a bit of jiggling about to actually find the range and to find the weak spots, to find where you can pen. So there's only a couple left on this way. The Churchills are definitely tougher to kill, but if you get the upper front plate, that seems to do it. Well, I'm not sure the Grant/Lee actually have enough penetration for that. And of course, this being War Thunder, I can't just load the gold. I can't just load the gold, which is, you know, very disappointing, because obviously that's my favourite thing about World of Tanks is premium ammo. Premium ammo is just the best thing in all games. Oh, there we go. We lost the final one. So I thought it was a bit unlikely I'd be able to complete one, but there we go. I could maybe have a go while we're here, while I'm just sitting down recording. We could have a go at the Air Arcade one as well. We made, yeah, this is, I mean, most of them I've made it to about this point. So it's about 25 minutes for a successful, yeah, it seems to be on a timer rather than X number of waves, and then you can do it quickly. You just have to survive a fixed amount of time and defeat all the waves and actually protect the targets. So, planes, what's a lineup of planes I actually have? I guess we'll go with the Brits. And this is, yeah, this is all like fighters, Hurricanes, Spitfires, and a Sunderland, which is the best heavy fighter, of course, that the RAF ever had. It won't actually let me take the Sunderland into the lineup, unfortunately, so I guess we'd better have... I don't know, let's go for that bow fighter. I don't know what effect BR has, like if it matches you with a similar group of BR players, or if it actually adjusts the difficulty based on the BR of the planes or tanks that you pick. I genuinely have no idea. So maybe I'm making life more difficult for myself by taking a 3.0 plane in what is otherwise a 2.3 to 2.7 lineup. On the other hand, it might not matter at all. I don't know. So it took about 3.5 minutes to actually find a session. I'm not sure if that's because of my plane lineup or if there were just fewer players actually doing the PvE air mode. But yeah, basically you're defending an airfield. And you have waves of, I think it's BF-109s and... I want to say Ju-88s. I guess we'll soon find out. Now, obviously, the bombers are more important, but there are also ground attack vehicles that will chip away at the health of the objective as well. It's not even an airfield; it's like a factory or something we have to defend. So, yeah, there's the airstrip down there. So not only have you got to defend against bombers, but you've also got to take care of ground targets potentially as well. So it's I think honestly the ground forces one is a bit better done. This one feels like you've got to split your attention more ways, given that we've got what is this, like 10 people? I can't count. The previous, I think I tried this once or twice because I did a stream on, was it last Saturday, where we did a bit of this and we did a bit of the warships PvE on the test server. I guess oh, there we go, yeah. That's the first spawn. And this honestly felt a bit more kind of chaotic, and it felt harder to keep track of the targets and to deal with everything that's coming in from the different directions. So I think for an air, like, defense arcade mode thing along these lines, I think making this more objective based, you know, defend target A, then defend target B, then defend target C, or something along those lines, you know, moving around the map more rather than just defending a static point for the entire game and having to deal with incoming waves from all around and also having to deal with stuff on the ground as well. This feels a bit less well designed, to be quite honest. But now that it's in the game, I don't know, you know, if it's popular enough, Gaijin might put some resources into actually making sure it's better. The mouse, I don't know if it's like mouse acceleration, but it always feels really twitchy, and there's probably some way to change that. And I don't know why it feels way more twitchy for playing against, well, when playing planes than it does for playing tanks, but anyway. So that's BF-109s. I think the 109s can attack the ground target. They like go in and strafe. Right, so they all knew where the first spawn was. I mean, there's always this element of this danger that it just becomes... this spawn is over here, so you fly over here at this stage, and then you fly over here next, and fly over here next. I would like to... like bringing another game in entirely, I would like to ideally see a little bit of randomization as with Payday 2, where when you're doing a heist, there are randomized elements within each heist, such as camera placement, or where the guards are going to be patrolling around. All of these things will change every single time that you start. So, yeah, it would be nice to have that rather than just have it be fixed as I think it is at the moment. And also to have objectives that you have to move around the map for. Anyway, so, I guess I should keep more of an eye on the mini-map as well, because that will tell you. So we've got that group moving in there, and I don't think we've got anything else at the moment. The fighters seem to come in a lot lower than the bombers, so it's almost... like this is one of the ways in which it's sort of annoying, in that you're constantly climbing and dropping down, and climbing and dropping down, because the fighters and the bombers are all coming in at different altitudes. And then, of course, you've got the ground attack, the ground attacking targets even, that are, you know, on the ground, as the name would suggest. Yeah. So far, I don't think I've actually shot anything. I haven't played the bow fighters in ages, by the way. I do like these planes, but this is... I'm totally only getting away with this because it's arcade. I did try playing some Air RB on the stream, and didn't go that well. Oh, no, I managed to miss all of them. Oh well. Let's go around again, I suppose. And I've always been terrible with, like, I know varying your throttle and there's things with flaps, I think, can make you turn faster. But it's like, I can barely keep up with the game as it is. In PvP, anyway, I struggle just to concentrate on what's going on in front of me, let alone having to deal with all the other things. Oh, there we go. So there's some of the ground attacking. Oh, there's a ground attacking wave. More BF-109s, but there's going to be more Ju-88s coming in from somewhere, isn't there? Or at least there should be in theory. So, yeah, it's very easy to get pulled off to random bits of the map and end up completely out of place. Whereas if you were following a series of objectives across the map, that would be much less of an issue, potentially. Or am I just, you know, having said all this, am I just, like, making any sense at all? I don't know. Let's not pretend I know anything about game designs. I've played a bunch of games, is all. And I know the things that I like from other, like, co-op game modes and PvE games. And, this doesn't... oh, no, that's still terrible. I swear, I don't suck this badly at planes, but maybe I do. Also, it's just been so damn long since I played the bow fighter. Come on. Nope. Got some hits at least. Honest to goodness, I seem to do better in the Sunderland as a fighter. The Sunderland's actually got, like, some 7.7s in the nose that you can use, and then, of course, it's got a bunch of guns. And the Sunderland in arcade mode is a bit ridiculous. The last time I actually went and installed War Thunder, which is a little while ago, it would have been last year, but it was because they'd introduced the Sunderland, and I actually did a shortish video. So I just logged in, got the Sunderland, had a couple of games in the Sunderland, put one game on the channel, and then kind of lost interest in the game, to be honest. Right, where are there more Ju-88s? Round that way. Somewhere? Yes, okay, they're all high up again. So let's get up again. You do seem to be able to take ground attackers. I mean, I've seen, like, there's an IL-2 there, and I've seen some ground attack aircraft, but I don't know if this was counted as a ground attack aircraft. Oh, also, why are we... oh, it's the BF-109s, I just noticed, because you get like a strength meter for your objective there. It was dropping, but I guess it would make sense that the bombs would do a hell of a lot more damage than strafing runs by the bot BF-109s. So I'm not quite sure why I managed to throttle down there. Once I accidentally hit the... is it the shift I accidentally like hit the... I don't know. I'm still sort of getting used to the controls, to be quite honest. I've not really done a lot so far. I've been too busy... well, this is always the risk of recording stuff live, is that you're actually sitting there thinking, right, what do I say next? What do I talk about? What are the points I want to cover? And then, so half of your brain is given over to that rather than actually concentrating on playing the game. But it's definitely a different kind of style of thing than sitting down and recording over a replay that you've recorded, where you know what's going to happen, so you can set things out in a much more orderly fashion, and you're not actually having to concentrate on the game at the same time. But I like to do this kind of thing every once in a while, because you can then have a more immediate experience, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so that's another group of 109s. I don't know if this is another 25-minute mode. I don't think we even came close the previous 2 times I tried doing this, but the base is in pretty good repair so far. So yeah, it seems like if you prioritize taking out all of the bombers ASAP, and it also seems like even if you get damaged yourself, it's not really worth going for the airfield, that it's better just to get the respawn. Did we just have 2 people crash? I wonder if they crashed deliberately to actually get their respawns. Maybe. I mean, it probably is quicker just to do that. And the BFs don't really, like, they just fly in formation. They don't really dogfight or anything like that. Oh, hey! Actually, so they, I mean, having played the, you know, there's various scenarios. The air AI in War Thunder is actually not bad. Let's see if my gunner can do anything. Right, I should probably turn. Is that more BFs? Yes, that's more BFs. So let's, I guess, start flying in that direction. I actually chased, shot something down. Right, so yeah, I'm just. We haven't actually dealt with that group yet, but I don't think there'll be like these going for that, basically. So let's start off in this direction. It would be nice if it told you what wave that you're on as well, if it gave you some sense of progress through the like, that's a relatively minor thing, but a lot of games do at least give you a sense of for you know, wave-based survival, how far you are through, how you're doing as you progress through it, and it doesn't really do that in either the ground forces or the air forces mode for this. So that would be a nice touch. That would be a relatively minor thing, but it would be quite nice to have that. Anyway, so let's try and suck less this time. The cannons on this are really nice. I know I mentioned this on the stream, but you know, I've probably done best in the bow fighters than any other plane, and probably back when they were considered more unbalanced. You know, that they used to be known as the broken fighters for a reason. Come on, daka. Whoa! Did I just? Yeah, I did. That's fine though. We're both still flying because that's completely realistic, right? Even in the more difficult game modes, yeah, War Thunder can be a bit silly sometimes. I know it aims for more authenticity, but at the end of the day, you have to make certain concessions to it being a game, and of course, conditions can arise within a game where the physics will produce not quite the intended result. So yes, I remember all too well doing things like trundling along at 10 km/h and just like bumping into a rock or a wall or something, and suddenly all my crew's dead because authenticity. Or things like tanks falling off a rock and doing a barrel roll and then landing on its tracks. I think Billy actually sent me a replay with that. It was like a Wolverine or something, and it just literally he drove off a rock and it tumbled and did a complete barrel roll through the air and just landed on its tracks, and it was fine. Which again, you know, authenticity, but yeah, it's a game. These things happen. So I'm definitely, yeah, we seem to have maybe slightly bodged the wing. I can words. No, I can't. I think we've proved that by now. We definitely proved that by now. I cannot words. That's more BFs. They're still a fair ways off. I mean, I could just try and land this before the next wave, but then you've got to fly all the way back up. Oh, was that a team kill? Huh, oh, yes, that was actually a team kill. Oops. It's always the difficulty when you've got a swarm of players trying to take out a formation like this. But when there's respawns, I suppose it matters a little less. So, we seem to actually be doing okay. There seems like a pretty good chance we'll do this one. And I was thinking, oh, we'll just try it. I'll be able to jabber for 10 minutes and show off the gameplay and how much I suck at War Thunder planes, and that'll be that. But no, now I have to come up with so many more words. God damn it. Anyway, so this might be a longer video than I was intending. In fact, we're already getting for about 35 minutes, not counting the queuing time. So I don't think I'll get a lot of rewards for this, but I don't know how it's pitched for rewards generally, to be honest. Outside of the once per day 300% booster, which seems to be the main incentive, you probably don't get that much, all things considered. And I don't know even if it's the same level for air forces and ground forces, because I know that one of the issues that a lot of people have, which I've seen stated multiple times, is that it's a lot easier to grind out planes than it is to grind out tanks. That for some reason the RP and the Lions gain for I think particularly the RP gain for playing ground forces seems to be excessively gimped. That it's a lot harsher than it is for grinding out planes, and I don't know why. It does seem a bit odd that there should be that disparity, but I've seen it in enough places to believe that there's something going on there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to force more people to play planes than tanks, but I don't know. Hey, I shot something down. Only Gaijin knows for sure, although I'm sure there are many theories as to why that is as well. Right, let's try not to shoot any allies. Daka. Those cannons are rather good. Did I just smack my wing into... I don't think so. I think we actually avoided each other. Right, he's falling out the sky. That's more BF-109s. Are there any other... No, I don't think after that initial wave of howitzers or artillery or whatever, I don't think any more ground bots spawn. I think it's just airwaves after that. Although having said that, maybe some will yet spawn once again. So having said what I said earlier about, you know, you have to split your attention, I guess you don't have to that much if it's only the one wave of ground attack forces. Right, this hasn't been, you know, I've got 3 kills, yay! I don't totally suck. Yeah, I do. I totally suck at this. But I wasn't thinking this would be me going into this displaying my amazing War Thunder skills. I was thinking it would be me, you know, showing off the new PvE game mode. And having, you know, despite everything I've said, it's actually kind of enjoyable. Because I don't want people to think like I did this video to rag on Gaijin. It's actually okay. It's just it needs a lot of work to make it something not just, you know, survive multiple waves, which it pretty much is. So you know, compared to like I probably am most comfortable in arcade for both ground forces and air forces especially, but I do try RB stuff sometimes. But I don't know, there's always that, especially with ground forces, just getting like one shot over and over again. Maybe more authentic, but I'm not sure it makes for more fun gameplay. And that's my main concern at the end of the day, is the game fun to play? So this is kind of like more relaxing. It's a bit more kind of like just you know what you have to do when you just fly around and try and do it. As opposed to the kind of frantic RB ground forces, I have no idea what I'm doing, oh god, I'm dead. Which is pretty much how it goes almost every time. Right, I guess I kill speed a little bit. I do seem to be certainly fast enough in the bow fighter to be able to easily overtake things. Right, let's try and take out this tailing Ju-88. A bit more speed, I bled off a bit too much there, climbing. I probably could have smacked my plane into the ground just to... Oh, there we go, we've got 7 more. I've just glanced at the bottom. We've got 7 more ground attack thingies that we will need to take care of. Where the heck are they, though? I'm not sure if the game telegraphs that very clearly. But you do need to take care of those, because they will just sit and chip away. But it looks like that's what our HS-129 is doing all the way over there. Anyway, oh, right, he's in range, so I should probably... Come on! Back. Oh, never mind, we're actually... reloading the cannons and the machine guns. Oh, and I'm actually taking some fire as well. More small 109s. So there's a kill assist. Yeah, I might want to... I don't know. I guess we'll just keep going with this and see how we do. We have a fuel leak, but I don't think it'll matter. Nothing's actively exploding or burning, so I guess it's fine for now. They're actually quite close. Well, let's turn for the 109s then. I should be able to take out that remaining... Oh, actually, having said that, remaining bomber, there's 3 of them. Yeah, we can't really let them get through. Is that more... Yeah, that's more 88s. So, I guess we must be... How long has it even been we've been doing this? We must be in the last third or so, where we're starting to get the more waves of things. So we're not leaking coolant, which would be the bad thing. Oh, that's 4 bombs getting through, that's not good. I think basically once they've dropped their bombs, you can just ignore them. Because, you know, it's the dropping the bombs part that you want to stop them doing. I'm not sure we will stop those ones. Certainly not going to catch up in time. So let's fly off in that direction. See if I can't DACA some more. Oh, yes. Yeah, even if a few get through, look how much that takes off. So you absolutely have to take out the bombers as a priority. Which, you know, as I've said, kind of makes sense, right? Anyway, should we wep over there for a little bit? I should probably ping on the minimap as well.
Attention to the map.
You know, I'm sure people have noticed, but these ones are getting awfully close, and it's only going to take like 1 or 2 getting through to actually then blow up the remaining health of our... I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Is it like a factory? Munitions depot? A barracks? I'm not entirely sure. So let's have a go. We're probably going to lose at this point, but anyway. See if we can't shoot down some more stuff. Right. Oh, we're closing on 500 miles an hour. This is going to be a very fast first pass. Oh, got one. We'll just completely defy the laws of physics and pull like an 11G turn, which is totally something the bow fighter could do in real life. Probably wasn't even that much, but anyway. A little closer. I'm not actually sure if we do. I don't honestly know what the effective range of the cannons is, but... Come on. Taka. Kill it! There we go. Starting to take some serious damage myself from all this AI gunnery. Done some damage. Oh, hello! Yeah, definitely done some damage. I can't actually see anything. It's quite a nice effect, really, but come on! Nope. Lots of red. Oh, we're now also leaking engine oil, so I don't know how long we're going to stay in the air. Well, before the engines just completely overheat, but 15 health left on the objective. And there goes one engine. Where's the other? Where's the other flying? And we failed. Oh well. Yeah, you can't really let many get through at all, can you? Then it's just all over. But I'll be interested to see how far we actually got through that, because it felt like we were getting sort of towards the end. And we'll see what the scores were. I don't think I'd have done very well. I didn't shoot down much, did I? Second from bottom. Oh gosh, so we were really close. We wouldn't have had to survive much longer. That's by far the longest I've survived in this mode. Anyway, so yeah, that's the PvE in War Thunder at the moment. You know, as a start, as a test, it's okay. I think if they were just calling it that, it would probably be. Oh, I need to set research apparently. I think it would maybe be a bit more better accepted than it is, and just calling it, oh, here's this new fully fleshed out game mode. Honest to you guys, it's fully fleshed out and fully featured and extensively tested. Yeah, it's not that, but you know, it's a start, and we'll see if they develop it more in future. So that's it for War Thunder now, and my amazing flying and tanking skills in this game. I'm so good. It's almost unbelievable how good I am. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you have, you can hit the like button, you can leave any comments below, you can sub to my channel if you haven't already, and as always, stay tuned for more.